Have you ever wondered how video games came about? The genesis of video games can be traced back to the mid-20th century. The 1950s, to be precise, heralded the birth of this revolutionary form of entertainment. At the forefront of this innovation were pioneers like William Higginbotham and Steve Russell. Higginbotham, a physicist by profession, created the first interactive computer game, Tennis for Two, in 1958. This game, rudimentary as it was, marked the first step towards interactive digital entertainment. On the other hand, Steve Russell, a computer scientist, gave us Space War, the first game intended for computer use in 1962. It was a two-player game set in the backdrop of a star-filled galaxy, a concept that would later inspire many space-themed video games. These seminal works laid the groundwork for what would soon become a multi-billion-dollar industry. And that was just the beginning of a revolution in entertainment. As technology advanced, so did the complexity of these games. The 1970s marked a significant shift in the gaming world with the rise of arcade games. These coin-operated machines found their way into shopping malls, restaurants, and amusement parks, becoming a cultural phenomenon and a symbol of the era. Then, in 1972, a game that would forever change the landscape of the industry was introduced: Pong. With its simple yet engaging gameplay, it captured the hearts of many, becoming an instant classic. Pong was more than just a game. It was a social experience, a gathering point for friends and strangers alike. With the popularity of these games soaring, so too did the number of arcades. They offered a unique social aspect that had not been seen before in the gaming world. Friends would challenge each other, crowds would gather around the best players, and high scores became badges of honor. The golden age of arcades had begun. But why go to an arcade when you could play at home? This was the question that sparked the birth of home consoles in the 1970s. It was a pivotal moment in the history of video games, and it all started with one man, Ralph Baer. Baer, often regarded as the father of video games, had a vision. In 1966, he imagined a world where people could interact with their televisions, not just passively watch them. This led him to create the Magnavox Odyssey, the first ever home console, which was released in 1972. The Odyssey wasn't just a console, it was a game changer. It took the thrill and excitement that was once exclusive to arcades and made it accessible in the comfort of our homes. The impact of this innovation was monumental. It sparked a revolution in the video game industry, paving the way for the countless home consoles we see today. Home consoles brought the arcade experience into our living rooms. But the road to today's gaming world wasn't always smooth. Picture this, it's the early 1980s and video games are everywhere. They've invaded homes, malls, and arcades. The market is saturated with a plethora of games and consoles. It's a veritable golden age for gamers. But as the saying goes, all that glitters is not gold. The industry was about to face a major hurdle. In an overzealous rush to capitalize on the booming market, game developers started churning out games at an alarming rate. This led to a surge of low-quality, unoriginal games flooding the market. The inevitable happened. Consumer trust started to dwindle. Why would anyone invest in games that seemed like mere carbon copies of one another, and more importantly, weren't fun to play? The result was a cataclysmic event known as the video game crash of 1983. This crash nearly obliterated the entire video game industry in North America. It was a dark time for gamers, developers, and console manufacturers alike. The golden age, it seemed, had come to a premature end. However, as the dust settled, a new player emerged on the scene, a beacon of hope amidst the rubble. This was none other than Nintendo, a Japanese company that was about to make a big splash in the global gaming scene. In the mid-1980s, Nintendo introduced the Nintendo Entertainment System, or NES. This console was a game-changer, literally. It came with a seal of quality, a promise to gamers that they would receive well-designed, original games. This helped restore the lost trust and brought about a resurgence in the industry. Nintendo's focus on quality over quantity, combined with their innovative games like Super Mario Bros. And The Legend of Zelda, breathed new life into the industry. This resurgence marked a turning point, a rebirth of sorts. It was the dawn of a new era, an era that would lay the foundation for the modern gaming world we know and love today. This resurgence marked the beginning of the modern era of video gaming. Video games have come a long way since their inception. Let's take a quick journey through their evolution from the 90s to the present day. As we waved goodbye to the 80s, the 90s ushered in a new era of innovation for the gaming industry. This was the decade that introduced us to the magic of three-dimensional graphics. Games were no longer flat, two-dimensional images moving across the screen. They were now complex, multi-dimensional worlds that players could explore from multiple angles. Think of the thrill when you first played Super Mario 64 or The Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time. It felt like stepping into another world, didn't it? The next major leap in gaming came with the introduction of online multiplayer. This was a game changer, literally. It transformed gaming from a solitary activity into a communal one. Now, you could team up with friends or strangers from across the globe to take on opponents in games like Counter-Strike or World of Warcraft. The world was now your gaming arena. Then came the mobile gaming revolution. With the advent of smartphones, gaming was no longer confined to consoles or computers. You could now play games anywhere, anytime. Games like Angry Birds and Candy Crush Saga became cultural phenomena, appealing to a broader demographic than ever before. Over the years, video games have grown from simple distractions into a significant part of our culture. They've been used to tell stories, to create art, and even to educate. They've inspired movies, books, and countless pieces of fan art. In many ways, games have become a mirror, reflecting our society, our hopes, our fears, and our dreams. Looking ahead, the future of gaming seems to be limitless. With advancements in technology, games are becoming increasingly immersive, blurring the lines between reality and fantasy. From virtual reality to augmented reality, the possibilities are endless. From simple pixels to immersive realities, video games have truly evolved into a form of art. So, where did it all start? From humble origins in 1972 with the Magnavox Odyssey, video games entered our lives. Arcades became social hubs, then consoles brought the action home. An industry crash couldn't halt progress, leading to a gaming resurgence and an evolution beyond imagination. Games transformed from simple pixels to complex immersive worlds, reflecting our own realities. We've journeyed through time, witnessing the rise, fall, and rebirth of this dynamic medium. From simple beginnings to complex realities, that's the fascinating journey of video games.